Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Greene. This is Rainierbooks and it's a Sunday evening. It's 9:20 p.m. The area here, which is a place where lots of families spend their weekends on Saturdays and Sundays, is quite empty now. Only a few kids are still here. It's very warm in Sweden. It's 24 degrees plus Celsius here in the summer in the end of June. I am here to do a little book haul for you in the next couple of minutes, and I received 5 books last week and the week before that, so now I have 5 new books on my lists on my shelves, and I want to present them to you. So this is my book haul on Sunday, June 28 of 2020. Welcome and let's get started. Well, the first book I want to talk about, I ordered them in alphabetical order by the last name of the author, just as usual. The first book I want to talk about is a novel that was published in 2018 by Fourth Estate in London, England, and this is a story about 3 women more or less from Ghana. There is a young girl, 17 years old. Her name is Belinda. She's a house girl. She's working as a housemaid. She's perfectly well educated, and she's living in a city in Ghana, a city called Kumasi, in the south of Ghana, as I believe. And she has a friend who's 11 years old, and her name is Mary. And those 2 girls are living still in Western Africa. And there's another story that develops, which is happening in London. And here we have Amma. Amma is a girl, daughter of rich parents of Ghanaian descent in London. She's going to a very fine school, and she's going to a very high prestige school, but she's not anymore on her right path. She comes into puberty and things happen to her, and she gets other things that are more interesting than school and grades and university. So the parents are very worried about her, and they ask for the home country, for Belinda, to come to England to look after her daughter, to be friends with her daughter Amma, and to help her get back on the right path. So Belinda comes to London. She comes to this brave new world, to this new world which is full of new impressions, which is totally different than her home country, and she meets Amma, Amma is not very enthusiastic about Belinda coming to London. So the 2 girls have lots of conflicts, and Amma doesn't want Belinda to help. And they develop a relationship, and Belinda's quite confused. She's quite in despair. She doesn't know what to do. And her only relief are the phone calls back home to Nigeria with Mary, the 11-year-old girl. This is, I think it's the first novel that Michael Donkor has written. He has said that he got the idea of writing the novel, which is actually here. It's called Halt. This is Michael Donkor's novel Halt. Beautiful cover, published by Fourth Estate in London in 2018. He got the idea because when he was young, when he was a teenager, and he went back from London to Ghana, he was always taken care of by young women like Belinda and Mary, and that's how the idea developed. And then there's a story about Amma and her sexuality in London, and Michael is gay, and he says it's also pretty un-Ghanaian to be gay. So this is a story about also Amma developing and discovering her sexuality. Sounds like a very interesting read by a young Black British author. Halt by Michael Donkor. This is book number 1. The second book, we're come to G in the alphabet, is a novel. It's a classic. It's from 1938, and I think I got an edition of like 1988 or 1989 or something from London as a used book from the United Kingdom, which arrived last week. This is a book that is a classic of British literature. It's Brighton Rock by Greene, and I was actually lucky because in that edition of Brighton Rock, which was published by W.H. Smith in the end of the 1980s, there's also a piece by Greene called The End of the Affair, which I literally know nothing about. But Brighton Rock is a story about Pinky, a 17-year-old boy in Brighton in the end of the 1930s, Brighton is what people have called the Chicago or the Las Vegas of Great Britain. It was a city with lots of gangster wars south of London, about 45 minutes to an hour from London. I love the city. I've been there a couple of times. I was there last year in summer for the last time. Then came Corona, and I don't know when I will be back there again. But Brighton Rock is a story in Brighton about being a 17-year-old boy who is a killer, who is involved in the gang wars, and he meets a young girl. He meets a young girl, and his life is about to change, and he's in great danger. Korea becomes more and more popular in recent years. That's just my impression, and we get more and more both films and music and literature from South Korea. And the third book that I'm going to present to you is by South Korean author whose name is Eun-soo Kim. He was born in 1972. He is 48 years old. He is from the city of Busan, and he's pretty popular in South Korea. He has written a novel called The Cabinet, which is not translated into English, but The Cabinet won the highest literary award in South Korea, the Munhak-dongne Award. He got quite famous for a novel that he has written already in 2010, which it took 9 years to translate it into English. Not 9 years to translate it, but 9 years to find a publisher who wanted to have it and who finally published it in the translation of Sora Kim Russell. And it was published, like the first book by Michael Donkor, it was published by Fourth Estate in London in 2019. This is The Plotters by Eun-soo Kim, The Plotters. This is a story, this is a thriller. It's a story of a young man who was found in the garbage when he was a baby. He's called Rae Seng. Rae Seng was found by a man who is a gangster in Seoul, in the capital of South Korea, and he is one of the leading gangsters. His name is Old Raccoon, and he brought up Rae Seng, and Rae Seng works now as a young man. He works as a hitman, as a killer, as a sicario for the Plotters. The Plotters are people who are holding the power in the underworld of Seoul. They are plotting the crimes that are happening. They plot who's going to live and who's going to die. And above the plotters, there's another hierarchy of plotters. But then, one day, Rae Seng has to kill a woman, and he kills her in a different way. He doesn't want to kill her the way the plotters have ordered him to do. And this changes his life, and he gets in great danger, and he is under surveillance, and he doesn't know what the plotters want to happen to him. So this is The Plotters by Eun-soo Kim. Sounds very interesting. It's blurbed by a lot of interesting things here. It says a mashup of Tarantino and Camus set in contemporary Seoul, filled with unexpected humor and exquisite fight scenes. The Plotters, Eun-soo Kim, sounds like a good summer reading. And then the fourth novel finally has arrived from the UK. I bought it for £1. That's not a lot of money, isn't it? It's, I think, 12, 13 Swedish crowns nowadays. And it's the first novel ever that I bought by one of the best-selling authors in the world. And I did it because Ellie from Ellie's Little Library convinced me to do it. Not particularly this novel, but a novel by the author. It is James Patterson, which is one of her favorites, I believe. And this novel is called Kiss the Girls. Kiss the Girls by James Patterson. And I think this was only his second novel that he published in 1997. This edition that I have is a used book edition, was published by Harper Collins in 1997. And the first novel was called Along Came a Spider. And this is about a black detective who works for the FBI. He's also a psychologist. His name is, let me look it up, is Alex Cross. Alex Cross is detective. He has found a serial killer in the first book. The second book is even more complicated, Kiss the Girls, because there are two serial killers on the run. One is operating in the south of the United States, and he is snatching college girls and killing them. The other one is operating in Los Angeles, California, and kills people there. So pretty bad things happen in the United States, just as always. It's the country with the most serial killers in the world, as you might know. The thing about the two serial killers in Kiss the Girls by James Patterson is that they are communicating with each other. Two people communicating with each other. Each of them is very dangerous. And they're not only communicating, they're also working together. And one of them kidnaps the niece of Alex Cross. And this was a big mistake that he's going to regret, because Alex is going after him now and he's trying to find him. I learned that this novel was made into a major movie already in 1999 or something, a couple of years later only, by I forgot the director, but the movie Kiss the Girls has Morgan Freeman in the leading role as Alex Cross, and it has Ashley Judd in the lead female role. So this is Kiss the Girls by James Patterson, which is going to be the first book by him that I'm reading. Next book has to do with my never-ending love for the city of London. I've been to quite many places in London. I've told you that already when I talked about Slow Burn City a couple of days ago. But this one is different. This is a novel about London. And that's the fifth book that I received. I actually have to admit that I never read a novel by the great British black author Zadie Smith, but I'm going to do that. It's on my summer reading list, and I got it last week. It's called NW, which stands for, of course, Northwest, because in London the postcodes are very important. People get killed because of their postcodes at times. London Northwest, I looked it up, consists of 11 different districts. And I looked, where have I been in those 11 districts of Northwest London? I've been to Camden Town, I've been to Kilburn, I've been to Brent, I've been to Kingsbury, I've been to Wembley Park, to Harleston, where I had a coffee, I've been to Neasden. I actually slept over in Kilburn and in Kingsbury and in Brent. So I've been to Northwest London, which is a very diverse area of the city, the city is diverse. I mean, it doesn't matter where you go. This novel actually follows four people. London NW by Zadie Smith, published in 2013. It was published by, 2014, published by Hamish Hamilton. This novel follows four young people from their teenage years into adulthood. The people are called Leah, Felix, Natalie, and Nathan. And they all have lived on an estate, the Caldwell estate, where they grew up, and this is how their lives develop in Northwest London after. Zadie Smith is one of the most praised authors, and I'm looking forward to read this over the summer months. The summer months are here already, so I read it. So what else am I up to? I mean, I'm on my holidays, and I do this video from Västertorp here in Stockholm, Sweden. Actually, I shouldn't be here, because I had booked a flight. I'd booked a wonderful apartment in Costa da Caparica in Portugal. Costa da Caparica is a beautiful little sleepy beach town, just half an hour south of Lisbon on the Atlantic coast. That's where I should be right now, but, everything changed in February, March, and we are all captives of one of the greatest threats to our lives, maybe the greatest threats to our lives in general, all over the world. This was everything I wanted to say for today. I presented you 5 books. I started reading Jenny Offill's, I think Offill because she's spelled with 2 F, Jenny Offill's Weather, which is a strange little novel, and I'm very excited to learn what I will think about it. I saw that Hardcover Hearts gave it only 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Let's see what I will give it. I will definitely read it because it's not long. I think you can read it in like 2-3 hours maybe at the most. So this was everything for today. Stay safe and stay patient. That's what we all have to do. And I hope wherever you are that you have enjoyed this video, that you subscribe to my channel, and that you have a great time, have a great rest of the Sunday, and have a great start of the next week. See you on Thursday at the latest with another review, probably of Jenny Offill's Weather. I'm also preparing 2 things for my channel. One is books in July that I'm looking forward to, the pick of the most important releases of July, and also a list of 10 novels that you should read during your summer holidays to escape from reality. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.